Hi folks, welcome to Gear and Tackle Travels. I'm your host Aaron. On today's episode number 8, we are going to be diving into my solar setup, what I've installed to get ready for those off-grid camping trips. I'll be adding the links to all the products that you see in today's video in the description down below. So let's start with our solar panel. First off, it's a 100-watt solar panel. It comes with a positive and negative set of wires on the back of it. The positive being the male end, the negative being the female end. 2 separate wires that run to your solar panel, male, female. You can't mess that end up. However, you can mess the other ends up. So what I did in my installation is I took my negative and marked a white paint pen on the other end of this, just so I know that that's my negative and this end is my positive, because you can get them backwards when it comes to hooking up to your charge controller, and you don't want to mess up your charge controller day one. Your charge controller consists of a digital display, plus, minus, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to be covering today, but you can switch from lead to lithium, lead acid batteries to lithium batteries, and it comes with 2 USB ports built into the charge controller, which is a real good bonus feature. The only thing they recommend is that you hook up all your black wires first into your charge controller. Then it also comes with your plug and play positive and negative cords. These go into plus and minus as well. If you know anything about a little bit of battery and electrical, the positive is the red, the negative is the black. So plus and minus again for your batteries, and they just run direct to the battery, or batteries if you are running in parallel. But as of right now, this is what you see, what you get. This is super easy. There is no question other than the fact that you have to label your other end to go into the charge controller. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and take this up, connect it together, and get this all set up first, because that's what they recommend to do so you don't damage your charge controller. Your last thing to do is to add your positive and negative to your battery after everything's hooked up. So let's go up top and do that. So I have my cables running out from the bottom of the trailer, and I just literally, as of right now, zip tie them to my other wires that I have at the front, and I'm going to go ahead and hook up my solar panel, hook up my positive, and my negative. Let's carry this up top. So as you can see, my solar charge controller is not mounted to the wall for the simple fact that I wanted to test out all the products first. So I went on a camping trip, checked out my solar, tested out my solar panel, tested out my charge controller, tested out my inverter, and really wanted to make sure that it did everything I needed it to do. I was pleased on its performance, and it did that and more. It actually gave me a digital readout that it was, topped up completely. The batteries were fully charged, and I had no problems whatsoever charging everything that I had to charge throughout the weekend. I'm also glad I took that option, because the first thing I wanted to do was mount it to the roof, and I found myself moving the solar panel around with the sun to get that much more maximum sun out of my solar panel. So having it mobile and versatile is one key feature that I kind of liked. with it. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt disconnecting it and putting it away, but at the same sense, you have that movement of sun, and you can just simply chase it around and get that much more sun to your batteries. So first, we're definitely going to talk about why you shouldn't have batteries inside your living space. One, those are lead acid batteries and they off gas. I am in the midst right now of building a box that you put the 2 batteries in, and they're going to be vented right out the front of the trailer. I'm just figuring out whether I want to go direct down to the bottom of the trailer or out the side of the trailer. I'm coming up with that, and I'm just running and testing all this stuff and all this gear right now to make sure everything works, so my plan can come together and we're not getting sick because of the lead acid fumes within the air. I know for a fact that you should have them outside of your unit, and that just is the right call. If you're going to run your own battery system, take the time to just think about the project and where they can be located, and the best scenario would be on the outside of the trailer. But in my case, I have a lot of electrical running in as far as 2 switches for exterior and interior LED lights, and I'm simply going to be venting these batteries outside within a box. So these are the 2 batteries that I purchased from work. They are interstate batteries, and there's the schematics for you. They're fairly lightweight, and they're just running parallel. In this bundle right here, we have our positive and our negative. Our negative we're going to hook up first. Now they're just tied up like this for testing purposes, and then we're going to plug in our positive. And now we have digital display. So there's our digital readout. Pretty self-explanatory when it comes to that. Plug your phone, you're good to go. Now it's just a matter of finding a good home for this, and I got plenty of wire underneath to figure out where to mount that. The last thing to do is add AC power. We're going to use this inverter, a 1000-watt inverter. I purchased this on Amazon for around 80 bucks. It's not as much as I wanted to go with at first, but it was in a rush, and this was 80 bucks, and that was okay with me. So that also comes with 2 USB outputs right here on the front, and 2 AC plugins, on and off switch, and lights to tell you everything's good to go. USB, power, and fault. If you got a fault, the red's going to display. This, basically all I'm going to do is I have a power bar here at the back, just to plug in my cell phone and whatever needs plugged in, but that runs direct underneath the cabinet, and I'm simply going to be disconnecting from my shore power outlet and plugging that into here, and now all this is good to go, running off of my inverter. So that's the last step. Like I said, links in the description below through all the products you see here. But let's go ahead and run this and see if we got some power. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is make sure this is in the off position. You don't want to be leaving it on. So let's put that in the off position. We take our positive and our negative. We hook up our negative first. And we're going to get some spark when we hook this up. Make sure it's off, double check, triple check. And we got spark, so you know it's working. We got a little bit of a fan, and we got two green lights, good to go. It's telling us 12 volts, 12.2 volts of battery, and 120 volts of AC. So now we just disconnected our power bar, and we are going to plug that in. Make sure everything's good and tight. Okay folks, moment of truth. Let's see if our power bar works. And this is my LED lights that are run to the power bar, and it works. So there you go. We're charging phone right now, and we're off grid. This whole build roughly put me in the hole. $189 for the solar panel and charge controller. I'm in Canada, so prices are high. and that inverter was 80 bucks. The 2 batteries I bought from work, 120 bucks in total, and I also bought some battery cable along with some lugs to run them in parallel. But other than that, it's a cheaper solution than running out and buying a $2,200 generator or an inverter generator. But it is what it is. Now it's quiet. I don't have any generators running. My cell phones, my GoPros, and my family stuff is all being topped up as of right now. But other than that, we're solar, we're off the grid, and we don't need a power supply, which is perfect for us. And sometimes in that scenario, this is all you need. So I hope this video was helpful for you. It's not as hard as you might think it may be. It's all plug and play. There's one thing you got to consider, and that's not plugging it into the wrong plus or minus. And other than that, it's all plug and play and very, very easy. I'm glad I had the opportunity to go this direction because it's going to work out for me when I'm off-grid camping in less secluded areas. Well, folks, that about wraps it up for me. Thanks for tuning in to Gear and Tackle Travels on YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. We'll see you guys on the next cargo trailer camper conversion modification next time. Take care.